Hey everyone, it's Brittany here. I wanted to check in with you guys. I know it's been a while since I have given you an update on my journey. It has now been 71 days since I was laid off from Meta, and OMG, has it been a journey. I didn't imagine that I would have such a difficult time re-entering the workforce. But I'm going to get into it and give you guys some quick updates. I have a list of topics that I want to touch because a lot of you guys have this false perception that because you work at a main company that layoffs shouldn't be that hard, or it'll be easy to find another role, which has not been the case for myself and many others who went through the last round of layoffs with me through Meta. A lot of us are still job searching. A lot of us have years and years of experience. Me, myself, I have 14 years of experience with software engineering, documentation engineering, public speaking, and developer advocacy. I've built successful communities. I have a lot of leadership experience, and still I am finding that a lot of these companies, either I'm overly qualified for the position or I'm just flat out being ghosted and not hearing back, which is very odd. I know that this job market is extremely tough right now, but I honestly did not expect it to be this tough. So I have a few topics that I want to touch on and talk to you guys about and give you a little bit more clarity as to what I am facing and what I am witnessing as I go through this journey in finding my next opportunity. So I've written some of the topics that I want to touch base on down. So I was working at Meta as a documentation engineer for close to 5 years. I also was the global lead for their ERG for close to 3 years. The Black at Pride community. I was a huge community builder and self-starter. I was actively involved in anything community internally, and I really enjoyed my experience there. The people are amazing. A lot of people, if you ask anyone that has ever worked at Meta, they'll say that like the people is the reason why most of us like really enjoy our job. Like the Meta mates are amazing. Like the people that you meet and you get to network with, they're amazing. And I've built some forever friends and friendships, and that building community is a passion for me. And so just being able to create safe spaces and create these different talking points for us to discuss and to build and to get to know each other, that was a joy for me outside of like my core responsibilities. So core work was amazing as well. Like got to build a lot of different cool projects and work with a lot of great individuals. So like the experience that I got while there, I'm never going to forget. And it was amazing. And yeah, so that's a little bit of my background as far as like what I've been doing at Meta for the last 5 years. I took a couple of weeks after the layoff to actually focus on myself. I had to, focus on my mental health. Losing a job is not easy for anyone, especially if you really poured so much of yourself and dedicated yourself to ensuring that this is a safe space for everyone. And so I had to take a few weeks, I think it was about 5 or 6 weeks, to just pour into me and to remind myself that, I am amazing and that this is not the end. And there are bigger and better things out there for me. And so I took a couple of weeks to focus on my mental health and to create a strategy on what to do next. And so I didn't want to be impulsive and just jump back into the job market. I wanted to like heal that wound a little bit and focus on like what my ideal company would look like and what my ideal role would look like, because, over the last 14 years, like I have evolved as a professional. I have skills that, I didn't think would come in handy 14 years ago that I've been utilizing in my career. And so like I have been really trying to see how can I create my dream role. And so community building, developer education, public speaking, making sure that the learning material is inclusive. So I've come to the conclusion that developer education, DevRel, developer advocacy, or some kind of leadership role where I get to pave the way for those individuals that are coming into tech or those individuals that are already here that need more guidance. I think a role like that would be perfect for me. And so like I've been exploring and networking and talking with mentors who have similar roles to this to see like what I would need to do in order to set myself up for success and be to thrive in these types of roles. And so that's where I came, and just figuring out life. Like I honestly I really appreciate having this time to myself, because for the last few years since I've broken into tech, it's been go, go, go. I've never had the opportunity to actually sit with myself and to really figure out, okay, I've been doing this for this amount of years. What's next? Like, what goals do I have for myself? Where do I see myself in the next couple of years? Or where do I want to take my career? And so with this happening, it actually forced me to pause and take a step back and reflect on, everything that I've done throughout my career in order to get me to this point. And so, for that, I'm very grateful, and it's, helping me to actually see the beauty and everything that I've done up until this point. I've really accomplished so much in my career, and I think had tunnel vision. I've been on go mode. I've had tunnel vision for so long that I haven't really noticed all of the amazing things that I've made happen and without a degree. And so like that one aspect, the things that I've made happen, the rooms that I've been in, the people that I've been able to connect with, it has been a dream come true. And if you would have told me 14 years ago that I would be the person that I am now, I don't think that I would have ever envisioned a life like this. And so at the end of the day, like, I'm very grateful for everything, every opportunity, every position, everything. I'm just extremely grateful for everything that I've been able to accomplish in my career. So there's that. Yeah, definitely had to like find the value in rest. I think a lot of us tend to think or to overthink that if we're not doing something, if we're not building something, if we're not working, that we're not being productive, and we tend to beat ourselves up. And that was me for a very long time. And like that eventually led to burnout. That eventually led to like anxiety and stress. And the fact that I've been able to sit still and reflect and exhale has really done wonders for my mental. And I think that even individuals who haven't been laid off should definitely utilize PTO and any kind of break that you can get to exhale, reflect on your career, and actually figure out what you're passionate about and how you can tie in your passions to build your dream career. Because like we spend a lot of time working, and I think if you're working towards a goal, if you're working towards a passion, or you're working in your passion, it doesn't feel like work. You're excited to do it every day. And for me, that has been my life for the last 10 years. I started off doing tech for survival, to change my narrative, because honestly, it was a very lucrative career that I could get into without having to have the student loans and without having to have the college degree or to sit down and be away from my babies for, an extended period of time. But eventually I saw a need for a voice that had the perspective of, untraditional pathways into tech. And so I used my voice and I used my experience to create community and to talk about why this is important and why we need to fix it. And over the years, this has been my passion. It's been my passion to speak on it. It's been my passion to shed light on these different areas because, a lot of companies before Meta overlooked me because I didn't have a degree. But there are individuals that can do an amazing job and don't have the resources or don't have the time or don't have the finances to actually get the piece of paper that says like they're qualified or certified or degree. Like a lot of us lack that, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't give that person a chance. And so like I have dedicated most of my career on speaking about this and creating spaces for individuals who are often overlooked. And so that's one of my passions. And I've been like really fortunate to figure out what my passion is as far as my career and work in my passion, not only to create those spaces in that community and build those communities, but also make sure that the learning material and the documentation and the videos that we are putting out are inclusive and individuals who don't have a certain amount of experience in tech or don't have college degrees or maybe English isn't their first language can also have the benefit of understanding and following along and, be able to build themselves up as well. I think that's important. Let me see where I am. Oh, so the job search experience. Where do I start? So I recently decided to start my job search experience, and it has really been a journey. What I'm running into was initially I thought, I worked at a main company. It shouldn't be that hard for me to land another job. I won't be unemployed for that long. False. Reality is a lot of these companies are saying I'm overly qualified for these positions that I'm applying to, or they're flat out just not responding back, which is disheartening. It's not so much giving me imposter syndrome because like I am very confident and I know that I bring a lot of value to whatever company that I work at. But like, it's very disheartening to know that with my seniority and with 14 years of experience and with working at one of the top companies in the world, I'm not getting these positions that I'm applying for. And so like, that has been hard. That has been, very hard. It's been an emotional roller coaster. I'm still remaining optimistic and remaining excited and knowing that like my dream job and the perfect company for me is out there, and I need to, just remain hopeful. But the reality is that just because you have X amount of years of experience and just because you worked at such and such company does not guarantee you a role. And that was a reality check for a lot of us who have been recently laid off from these big companies. So yeah, there's that. The bias and gatekeeping still exist. something that I'm also noticing is that, like, with the being overly qualified for these positions, what one of my mentors told me in one of our coffee chats is that it may be that they see all of the skills that I have and what I've done over the last couple of years, and they may not have enough budget to pay me what I deserve. And so that feels good, but then it doesn't. It's like, it kind of feels like you've been punished for, I don't want to use punished. It kind of feels like a kick in the knee for being good at your job. So just remaining optimistic and knowing that for every no, you're getting closer to your yes. So that's something like a mantra when I'm doing my applications. I try to do at least 10 applications a day. And just keep it in mind for every no. That means I'm getting closer and closer to my yes, to my perfect dream job, to my perfect role, title, or whatever you want to call it. And just continuing to show up for myself, continuing to put out information and make myself seen in the tech industry. So after I was laid off, I decided to create a YouTube channel talking to individuals about the different tech topics that I think are important. And so my YouTube is titled Technically Speaking because there are a lot of different topics that I'm going to cover. Some are more lifestyle tech. Some of them may be more technical, but everything around it will be, in a sense, based around my experience being a professional working in the tech industry. So I've also been applying to speak. I've also dusted off my GitHub. It's been, I say, about 3 years since I've actually touched a piece of code. So I'm dusting off of my coding ability, dusting off my GitHub, and I have been building out a project which I call Technodocs. And so you can be on the lookout for that announcement once I share it with the world. This is like a baby for me. Like, I am nurturing it. It has a little bit of everything in it. And so, yeah, I'll announce that soon. But like, I have been building out a project called Technodocs, just pouring energy into dusting off my skills, remaining relevant in the community, and giving back as much as I can. And I think that's important because like a lot of people get laid off and they think that it's embarrassing and they don't want to share what they're going through. But, I like to be transparent and I like to share what the journey looks like for me because, my transparency has really helped me out throughout my career. The truth is it's rough and it's not all puppies and rainbows. And, I'm not having a bunch of recruiters and companies knocking on my door right now. And maybe it's because of, a lot of different things. But yeah, it's just as hard for me with 14 years experience as it would be for, individuals that are trying to break into tech right now. But the key point is to remain hopeful, to make sure that you're working on your resume, you're continuing to build, you're blogging, and you're going to meetups and going to conferences and networking and continuing to remain relevant, and continuing to remain relevant in the community so that you won't be forgotten. Something I've learned about myself since the layoffs. I've learned that I was tired. I was so exhausted. And I am truly refreshed. I am truly refreshed right now. I needed this break. I wouldn't say I needed a layoff break, but I needed a break, to actually collect my thoughts and to see what's next for me. I've also learned that I am resilient. I am resourceful, and that I am multi-talented in a way that, I can build communities. I am a amazing networker, and I can connect different partnerships and build different partnerships. And, I'm not afraid to ask questions and reach out to individuals. And that has served me well throughout my career with the things that I've built and manifested throughout my career. It's been because I ask questions and I, don't shy away from reaching out to individuals. What else have I learned about myself? I've learned that it is okay to be still sometimes. It's okay. You don't always have to be thinking and doing and producing. Sometimes it's okay to just exist, and have a mental break and turn off your brain, to recharge a little bit. So that's something that I'm going to take into like my next opportunity. I'm not going to burn myself out in the ways that I have in the past. I'm going to make sure that I am putting me first and taking care of myself and not overextending and filling my plate up with a lot of different things to the point where I'm burning myself out. I think that is very common with Black women in corporate positions. We tend to try to overcompensate to be seen. And that was like one of the things that I've done throughout my career. And so sitting back and reflecting, I've done that a lot because like I don't have a career. I mean, I've done that a lot because I don't have a degree. So I've often tried to overcompensate by being a leader and being, this serial networker and being this all-star team player to the point where like I'm working after hours or I'm doing my core responsibilities and, 2 to 3 other different jobs, as well. And so I'm learning to put just enough to keep myself occupied, but not enough to burn myself out. So that's something I've learned about myself as well. And I've also learned to never stop building on my brand. I think working at a main company, I put my personal brand and my personal tech identity, I pushed it to a side to focus on the internal work that I was doing. And I kind of let my external public speaking and my external blog and my external, developer education